Javelina season's coming up, and I've been putting off making a javelina call for a while, and so I'm gonna make one real quick. I'm just using some spent brass, and that was, usually I make calls out of wood, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So let's see how it's gonna work. So here's some just random brass that I found laying around. This is a 50. This is the only one I have of this. All these other ones I got piles and I got more, but I was looking through, if I'm using a JC Products reed, which is the plan, it fits perfect in the 50 cal, but it's not long enough. And so the plan is going through different size brass. A 300 Win mag is almost the right size. And so the plan is to knock the primer out, or I'm just going to drill it out, and it should fit just right, and it'll give it a stop, and then I can just trim these off, put it together, and be done with it. So let me do that real quick. Okay, I got it done. It actually didn't take me very much time at all. I was doing this on the side while I was building a bow, while I was waiting for glue to dry and stuff. So really there's no excuse for people not to build their own calls. Pretty cheap and easy. I could have easily done this with a hacksaw and some JB weld. You don't need a lathe or any solder or anything like that. For the reed that I use, I'm using a JC Products reed, and I ended up buying like a variety pack a while ago for just to test out different reeds. And the one that I found that worked best for making a squealing pig sound was the LVDR002. And I ordered these from allpredators.com. They have a lot of call making stuff on there, and so it's a pretty good place to get them. Overall, it turned out all right. I tried to put a patina on it. Cause at first I was going to make it super shiny, but it was almost too shiny. So I tried to patina it, and it's coming around. It's definitely looking better than it was, and it'll just improve over time. So pretty rough, pretty simple. Only thing left to do is go try it. I made it down here to the desert to look for some javelinas, and on my way up this mountain over here, I cold called a couple times and nothing came in, but did see some deer and a bunch of quail. There's still a couple weeks of quail season left, and I actually spent most of my time trying to get a shot at one with my bow. So the plan is to find some, get close, call them in even closer. So we'll see what happens. Some of the random things you find. It's kind of cool. And there's a mine right here. I don't know what this is. It's not very deep. There's that old mine shaft. They have it fenced off pretty good. Bunch of little mines everywhere and through here. Sun's going down and the moon's coming up, so day one is pretty much done. I saw one javelina today and quite a few hunters, both javelina and quail hunters. So it's a pretty slow day. Did a lot of glassing, a lot of hiking, got to see some crazy mines and stuff, which is cool. But I'm looking for a group of javelina, and usually they're in groups of like half a dozen to 20, and the reason why I want a group is because I'm trying to make a piglet distress. They're actually not pigs, they're peccary, but piglet distress sound, and so that way I get a whole group to come in. I think it's going to be easier to call in a group of them rather than just one single one. But I go somewhere else tomorrow, and I'm just gonna go set up camp real quick and try again tomorrow. Well, second morning, still haven't found any. Came to a different spot, mainly to look for an animal that lives on this mountain behind me. But haven't seen anything yet this morning. So javelina, there's a lot of them, and their tags are easy to get in both in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Tags are really easy to get. But they're one of those animals, you know, like when you're deer hunting and all you see are elk, and then when you're elk hunting all you see are deer. Well, javelina are kind of like that. You only see them when you're doing something else. So javelina have a plant-based diet mainly. They'll eat pretty much anything, bugs and stuff, but mainly plants. And normally they eat, you know, prickly pear cactus. That's their main diet. So if you're in an area where there's a bunch of prickly pears, then you're in a good spot. Not necessarily, but I know that there's javelinas here because I've seen them while I was hunting other stuff. But it takes a while sometimes. They're just random when you find them. Once you find them, they're not that hard to kill though. So here's some more stuff. A little bit more of a view. they live in all kinds of different elevations, and they're actually migrating north. But down here, I'm only, I don't know, 5 miles or something from the Mexican border. But I've seen them down here in the desert, which is where most of them are. I've also seen them elk hunting in the tall pines, and so they're pretty adaptive, kind of crazy little critters. But I'm just gonna keep looking, see if I can call one in. So here's some Javelina sign. They're just digging up tubers or roots or whatever they can. They're all over the place. It's not super fresh, but it's kind of fresh. I have no idea how much of that got on video, but, well, I was chasing quail. Pretty typical. I still see some. And I spooked some, and I started squilling on that thing, and I was trying to get everything ready. And I thought they were spooked, and then they just circled around me, and I could hear them moving. I'm sure you didn't pick it up on audio. Then I got trying to get on film and trying to get everything lined out. I missed. But the call worked. There's just so much going on when you're trying to video and everything at the same time. I'm gonna try to get on these again. One of them ran up this hill over here, and one of them went behind me over here. So we'll keep trying. Still not sure how much of that I got on video. If you ever watch like the solo hunter guys or something, and they make it look easy, but when you're trying to film a hunt, use your call and shoot all at once, it is extremely difficult, even for something like Javelina. So I don't know, I missed. I don't even think I hit anchor. We didn't pick a spot. So much was going on so fast that, yeah, it's terrible. But the call worked. I think that proved it. If I got it on video, I have no idea. So, little story. Nobody knows where I am. It's pretty typical. That's usually how I roll. Like a couple of people, like my wife, they know the general location, which corner of the state I'm in. But I am pretty close to Mexico. And on my way in here a couple hours ago, this is a place I've never been to, I passed a 15-passenger border patrol van going down a rough dirt road, and he let me pass. And so that means that he's coming to pick people up. They're not just going to go patrol in that. And then shortly after, another border patrol comes flying up the road, catches me at a gate, and he pulls over and he has something in the back of his truck. And I was trying to figure it out, and he just stopped right there and he just hoisted this big old thing up in the sky. So between that, nobody knows where I'm at, and this wash right here where those javelina were, full of people tracks, and they're not like hunting boots, they're like tennis shoes. So I don't think they're hunters, bird hunters or anything like that. So I don't really want to spend the night here like I was planning. You know, if it was 10 years ago before I had kids and whatnot, probably not that big a deal, and I'd probably be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not film. I'm going to go kill a javelina. So that's pretty much the end of the video. I'll show you a picture or something if I shoot one, but I can't do all three. And so there you go, but it works. You can make a javelina call out of a 50 cal or 50 BMG brass. Okay, have a good one. Okay, I told you I'd show you a dead javelina. If you notice, I'm in a completely different environment because I moved. Hence from, you know, 2 minutes ago when you're watching this movie. But here's your dead javelina. They're about 30 to 60 pounds. This one looks like about a 40 pounder, 45 pounder. That's a sow. Called him in, her in, and shot her, but I wasn't filming because that takes a lot. But there you go. Dead collared peccary. See this stripe right here? Where they get the collared and they're a peccary. Sun's in the bad spot. Now the question is, how do you cook it to make it taste edible? So there's either two groups. Either people love them, people hate them. There's no in between. And so far I've always been in the not so good tasting, but I'll give that a try. Thanks for watching.